let's talk about rewards. One in particular is going to be very excited to discuss. So it's reward time. Let's go. Hello and welcome. My name is Anticio Duke, product design strategist, entrepreneur, and gamification connoisseur from Chicago, Illinois. Windy City's in the building. One reward system in particular that you can use in your mobile app or your design product to help you level up your game of engagement today. And if you've ever played any video games, whether it be solitaire, whether it be a first-person shooter, Legend of Zelda, GTA, like the list goes on with types of games that offers rewards within them. Now, many people, when they think of apps, they think of different leaderboards, different areas where they can get coins, golds, tokens, all of these things so that they can achieve rewards within it. But there is some psychology that is wrapped within understanding the reward system. So we'll talk about that for one today. Here's my tip. It's called fixed action rewards. Fixed action rewards has everything to do with expectation. Here, let me paint this scenario. Let's say you go to your car, you get in, you close the door, you sit promptly. You strap that seatbelt in, you take your key, you put it in ignition, and you turn it. What do you expect would happen? You expect that vehicle to start. And I mean start up. Depending on what vehicle you have, you can have a motorcycle, you can have a truck, you can have an electrical vehicle, no key, push to start, whatever. You have an expectation that this vehicle will start up. That is the very same scenario and idea with fixed rewards. Is defined as when a user knows exactly what to do in order to achieve the results that they want. Collect this many points and you reach this tier. Do this many tasks and you unlock X. Those things have everything to do with understanding how the actions are tied to a fixed reward system that you have come to expect. We see this a lot in loyalty programs where there's a sushi place that I absolutely love. And anytime you go there, you spend over a certain amount and you get this punch card, which is redeemable. So anytime you go the next time, you can collect these punch cards or these points so that your next or 10th meal is free. That is amazing because it keeps me wanting to go back, considering I've already invested all of this money. I really like the food and I'm incentivized to come back so that foreseeing a future outcome is a free meal. You spend X amount of money, you exchange X amount of time, and you receive this particular reward. That's fixed action. This taps into the psychology of users because they've come to understand that being active, doing X amount of thing, spending X amount of money, exerting X amount of effort will yield the exact same reward or something very similar. That psychology really sticks with users in a way so that they continually use it to keep coming back. That was the whole idea with gamification, using game mechanics models to keep those engaged. Your user becomes a frequent user because their desires are expected. They understand that if they do X amount of thing, they will have an expected reward to achieve Y result. It's already predetermined. And that's a great thing for some users. The beauty of this is we can then take this same psychology and these same models from video games, and we can incorporate that into our digital products, our apps, or our websites. Now, let's say, hypothetically speaking, that you have a mobile app and you want those users to take a photo of something, log that photo, and upload it into your server, store it, name it, save it, boom, it's there. Bring in the authorities. They're coming in. Help me, someone. with that scenario, you add those dynamics to your app. Anytime I snap a photo, anytime I log that, and anytime I store it so that it's recorded in this application, I receive a point. Now, let's say I do that 10 times, 30 times for one day of the month, and I upload it, something unlocks or something is achieved by then. Maybe I get a free month of service. Maybe I then get extra features for the photo sharing, this photo service. There are ways that you can do that. Let's say your application is a golfing app and you take several swings and it measures the velocity in which your ball extends. So I practice X amount of times per day. Over a week's time, I then unlock a new feature, or I'm then able to do something different. That has everything to do with fixed action rewards. It's saying I can do all of these things and expect Y result when I do them. We also see this a lot when it comes to app usage. So when you use an app, you log in, log out, or you create an activity. Let's say you're a photo editing app where you upload a photo, you start to do some edits, you save it, maybe share it out, save it to the device or something like that. You do that 3 times within a week, and then you've seen the dreaded, would you like to rate this app? Do you like it or not? Is it good for you or not? Those things are triggered events based on the usage, but it still has a gamification element. Your usage then triggers the functionality to then surface something to then rate you or communicate with you or engage with you. And that's the beauty of taking these game mechanic psychology moments and these strategies and incorporating them into your application. I need you to do me a huge favor. Growing this community is something that I really strive to do. So the reward is I give you all of these free bits of insight, and you do me one huge favor. Click that subscribe button so that you can get notified whenever I drop a new video that's for the community. That's one. And then 2, share some love. If you know someone else who's excited about product design, mobile apps, or gamification as a whole, feel free to share this with them. And thank you very much in advance.